I'll hand it over to Liam Darling from HaloSOS. So Liam, if you'd like to take over and share your screen, away you go.
I will do, guys. I'm just going to turn off the video because I've had some bandwidth issues there, so forgive me if you can't see me. Okay. Can we all see that now?
Yes, that's good, Liam. Away you go.
Okay. So as Chris said, I'm Liam. I'm the COO of HaloSOS, and we're focused on staff safety. One of our key verticals is the hospitality industry. And every day, hotel employees are exposed to significant risk in the form of personal safety incidents. So that could be a health incident, it could be an accident, or in reality, we're looking at assaults on housekeepers in hotels, or mass crisis events, which tend to be fires or chemical spills. But again, because we're focused on the US hospitality industry, it tends to be active shooter incidents. To put some context around this, personal safety incidents, in 2018, a survey was done that showed an astonishing 58% of US housekeepers had been sexually assaulted and harassed by a hotel guest. And each one of those events, if it goes to court, costs the hotel operator $276,000. On the mass crisis side, the largest mass killing in the US was in the Mandalay Bay in 2017, which was 58 people. And that astonishing number there of $770 million was the settlement figure paid by MGM Resorts. So what that actually did was it drove a couple of market trends. And the first thing was that 56 of the major brands came together and created a 5-star brand mandate that said, if you run one of our hotels, you must provide staff with the ability to raise an alarm and immediately be found to room level accuracy. On top of that, then, city and state legislation has come into play. So initially, 3 states have implemented the legislation, Washington, Illinois, and New Jersey, which says that you must have a solution like the HaloSOS solution deployed in order for you to be compliant with state laws. On top of that now, the ones in light blue, California, New Mexico, Florida, etc., are states that are coming online shortly. December 2020, there were 5.5 million rooms in the US. Post-COVID, we expect that to drop to about 4 million rooms. But even still, 90% of that market is still to be completed. So it's quite a large market. Our solution is a patented solution. Unlike other solutions, we are voice activated and push button activated. So imagine a housekeeper walks into a hotel room, feels under threat. She simply calls out a keyword. We use a network of beacons to identify our location down to room level, and we send that position to the security teams, which can then track her indoors, room to room, or outdoors if she goes outside. On the mass security side, active shooter walks into a hotel lobby. It starts at the other end. Security console, security team create a boundary that says this is an area of danger. We locate all the staff using the network again, and we push a message to them that says either leave this area or follow this procedure. And the reason hotels buy is because of safer staff compliance and reduced financial risk. In terms of market size, after COVID, there'll be about 4 million rooms in the US. The key takeaway from this slide is that 1/3 of those rooms exist in California, Texas, and Florida. So that's where our focus is. And the hotel industry basically spends about €850 per room per year on physical security. In terms of competitors, there are multiple competitors out there. It's important to say that this slide actually came from discussions with both Hilton, Marriott, and other big brands. At one end of the spectrum, you have small, nimble companies like React, but they are limited in terms of their penetration into market and their technology. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have big companies like Assa Abloy with thousands of employees who we'll come back to later, but we would argue that their solution isn't even fit for purpose. We have unique advantages. We're voice activated. We're the only people who seamlessly indoor and outdoor track, and we're the only people who do mass crisis events as part of our product offering. Additionally, there are some revenue opportunities which hotels are very interested in at this point in time. Team, we are a sales-driven organization. Fiona comes from a background of corporate sales. $10 million recurring annual targets exceeded. Mike is our CTO. He has a lot of experience in software development, both startup and enterprise, and specifically in location-based technology. And I've spent 15 years deploying location-based solutions in the US, Europe, Australia, and the Middle East. How are we doing so far? We're actually doing pretty good. Most recently, and about 2 weeks ago, Marriott Bonvoy gave us the go-ahead on a 500-bedroom DC hotel. It's part of a group of 30 and will act as a reference site. Later in the summer, we expect to do the Apache Casino Hotel, which, although quite small, is part of a group of tribally owned casinos in Oklahoma, of which there are 309. Hilton, we're operating at VP level of global security, so the highest level. Next steps with those is penetration testing followed by legals, and they are indicating 40,000 rooms. And UGL, a non-hospitality based Australian company, whereby they've asked us to keep their staff safe in underground train stations. We have submitted our recommendations to their RFP. The RFP will be issued in June, and we expect a decision on that in August. Although we've been direct sales to date, we are working with a couple of partners, and that will be our channel to market. So we are a B2B sales organization. We will go through channel partners. Hotels are used to paying for things on a per room basis, so an install and a rate per room per month is accepted by them. 3-year contract for a 300-bedroom hotel is around €67,000, of which 75% is recurring revenue. And I think the key takeaway from this slide is we're forecasting 2,700 rooms this year. Of that, 600 are newly secured with Marriott, and we have a pipeline of 50,000 rooms for the 12 months. By the end of 2023, we're looking at 600 sites yielding 13 million. This round, we're looking for 200K at a 1 million pre-money valuation. EI will match 100K. So from Spark, we're looking for 100,000. Potentially, there will be a second round, and we can come back to that in a second, what that actually means. But for this round, it's 100,000 from Spark and 100,000 from EI. Most important bit is the exit. Just to let you know, guys, think back to Assa Abloy, the competitor. They basically acquire one company every 3 months. Everbridge, whose share price has shot through the roof since COVID-19. Last similar acquisition to us was for 8 times revenue in August 2019. And then there are another couple of other players in there which make acquisitions. That is kind of an overview of where we are at the moment, and I would be delighted to take any questions.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Liam. Excellent presentation. If you'd like to stop sharing your screen now and perhaps put your video back on. I'm sure Fergal has got a couple that, well, we've certainly had a couple emailed through us over the last couple of days. So Fergal, away you go.
Yeah, great presentation, Liam. I have just an email from Michael here. It's actually quite an interesting question. Could your solution also work for social care workers as well, working in challenging settings like disabilities, mental health services, etc.? Yeah,
so it's a great question, Michael. And what I didn't mention there is we're working with a small healthcare reseller in Ireland, and we're looking to deploy a trial site in one of the major Dublin hospitals for internal staff, but it obviously lends itself very well to people working in the community going to healthcare outside.
Excellent, very good. And I have another one here from one of the attendees. May I ask what element of your solution has been patented?
So we've actually 2 innovation patents, they're called. They're not inventive patents. So the difference between an innovation patent and an inventive patent is that it lasts 8 years. So the 2 elements that we've looked at is, number 1 is the voice activation generating the location. And the second one is on the mass notification side, because we intend to invest heavily in the mass notification side of the business. So we have an inventive patent around how we generate that mass notification alert and how we use integrated systems to drive people away from the threat.
Excellent. And just another question here from Robin O'Grady. Hi Liam, is it your own hardware or who manufactures it?
So it's not our own hardware, and we're not going to get into the hardware business. We are a software company. We are completely agnostic to the hardware providers. So we don't really mind what the device is. We currently look at contact beacons, and we currently look at S-mode beacons. We use third-party hardware, and we're constantly testing and refining those to what best fits the environment.
Excellent. And just another one for your timelines on the results for your trials.
Now, which are we talking about? The trial in the hospital?
I believe so. Yeah, it didn't specify, but it just mentioned it's an anonymous attendee. When will you have the results for your trials? So your current, I suppose, you're demoing at the moment, or
okay. So let me just, I'll cover off both just in case. So the Marriott Bonvoy is not a trial. The Marriott Bonvoy is actually a contract for the DC hotel, the 500-bedroom DC hotel, and that's in legals at the moment. That contract is worth about $150,000 to us. The trial in the Dublin hospital, we would expect a very small scale trial in pathology labs. We would expect that to run for 30 days. So if we deploy it in the next kind of 60 days, 30 days after that, we'll know. The reality is, you know, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a campus environment, whether it's a hospital or a hotel or even a prison. It's the same thing. So we're pretty confident on the trial in the hospital as well.
Excellent. And just the last question here from Robin again. Have you looked at data centers or other dark sites?
So we haven't really. The other areas we've explored in terms of the potential for locating staff are universities. So we've done quite a lot of exploration into the 4,700 unis in the US. We've looked at a couple of the pharmaceutical companies in Ireland. So the big guys, the Pfizers, the Sanofis, those type of guys. But we haven't actually looked at data centers as a potential market.
Excellent, very good. And actually, we have time just maybe for one more that came in via Michael. By email. He says, could your solution also? Oh, sorry, I asked that one. Does your system work across all frequencies? You know, can someone block the signal deliberately or by accident, or how is your security levels?
So it is a great question, and it's very important when it comes to US hospitality. So we do shuffle frequencies on the beacons. Because it's a standalone network, penetration testing and stuff like that makes it quite easy for us. We don't actually touch like the hotel network. So there's no issues around data or privacy or compliance. It's all down to us. We host in the Azure cloud. And the only thing that could be accessed with the beacons is the beacons, and we shuffle the frequencies on
that. Excellent, very good. Excellent,
excellent, Liam.
Anything else there, Chris, that you want to add? Are we okay?
No, I don't think so. Thanks very much. And again, any questions that we've had for you, Liam, that haven't been answered yet, we'll get you to answer those, and we'll send them out to everybody. So thank you very much for that. Perhaps you could unshare your screen if you could, please, so that we can actually then move on to the next one. So as I said earlier on, Liam and HaloSOS, we're hoping that they'll be live on our site within the next 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks. I think Liam is our discussion. So anybody who's interested in that, we'll be advising them when that's going live in the next few weeks anyway.